The Punic Wars, Rome's epic clash with Carthage. What if one man's revenge sparked the deadliest rivalry in ancient history? Elephants crossing frozen mountains, rivers running red with blood, two empires locked in a fight for survival. This is the epic saga of the Punic Wars. In the 3rd century BC, the Mediterranean was a powder keg. Rome, a rising republic, had conquered Italy with disciplined legions. Carthage, a Phoenician trade empire, ruled the seas with silver mines and war elephants. Peace was fragile. Carthage's wealth flowed from trade routes spanning Africa to Spain. Its oligarchy, led by suffetes and a council, clashed with Rome's Senate-driven ambition. Both powers eyed Sicily, a rich grain hub. Tension was inevitable. Founded by Phoenicians from Tyre around 814 BC, Carthage worshipped gods like Baal and Tanit, with rumors of child sacrifices, likely Roman propaganda to demonize them. Rome, meanwhile, integrated conquered Italians as allies, building a manpower reserve of over 700,000. The spark? Messana, a Sicilian city seized by Mamertine mercenaries. When Carthage intervened, Rome saw a threat. Not on our watch, the Senate declared. In 264 BC, the First Punic War erupted, a 23-year clash that would reshape the ancient world. The war opened with the Battle of Messana in 264 BC. Roman consul Appius Claudius crossed the strait, surprising Carthaginian forces under Hanno, securing the city in Rome's first overseas venture. Early on, in 262 BC, Rome besieged Agrigentum, Carthage's key base in Sicily. After 7 months, they stormed the city, enslaving 25,000 inhabitants and selling them for profit. A grim foreshadowing of war's brutality. In 261 BC, Rome captured Acragas after a prolonged siege, defeating 50,000 Carthaginians. The victory provided much-needed grain but highlighted the war's growing atrocities. Rome, new to naval warfare, built 120 ships in 60 days, copying a wrecked Carthaginian vessel. They added the corvus, a spiked bridge turning sea battles into infantry fights. At Mylae in 260 BC, Rome's fleet captured 50 enemy ships. At Thermae in 259 BC, Consul Lucius Cornelius Scipio routed Carthaginian troops, capturing the town and boosting Roman confidence in Sicilian land campaigns. In 258 BC, Rome struck at Sardinia in the Battle of Sulci, crushing Carthage's fleet. The defeat was so humiliating that Carthage crucified their admiral, a rare punishment showing their desperation. Storms ravaged Rome's fleets, like in 255 BC, when 100,000 drowned. Yet at Cape Ecnomus in 256 BC, 680 ships and 300,000 men clashed in history's largest naval battle. Rome won, invading Africa, but faced setbacks. Carthage's Xanthippus, a Spartan mercenary, crushed Rome at Tunis in 255 BC. Despite losing 700 ships to Carthage's 500, Rome persevered. In 241 BC, victory at the Aegates Islands forced Carthage to cede Sicily. Disasters continued in 249 BC at Drepana. Carthage's Adherbal ambushed Rome's fleet, sinking 93 ships using superior maneuverability. Rome's worst naval defeat, leading them to abandon the Corvus. On land, Rome shone at Panormus in 250 BC, capturing 120 elephants after luring them into a trap. Consul Metellus paraded them in Rome, boosting morale amid naval woes. The 9-year siege of Lilybaeum from 250 BC saw underground tunnels, fire ships, and betrayals. Carthage's Hamilco held out, but Rome's blockade starved them, highlighting Roman tenacity. After defeat, Carthage faced chaos in the mercenary war of 240 BC. Unpaid troops, 20,000 strong, rebelled, seizing towns. Hamilcar Barca crushed them, But the loss weakened Carthage, fueling Rome's hunger for dominance. Rome seized Sardinia in 238 BC during the Chaos, an opportunistic land grab that deepened Carthage's grudge. Hamilcar expanded into Spain, mining silver to rebuild, setting the stage for his son's revenge. Hannibal Barca, sworn to hate Rome at age 9, emerged as Carthage's genius. In 218 BC, he led 90,000 men and 37 elephants across the Alps in winter. Half perished, but 26,000 survivors invaded Italy. The war ignited in 219 BC with Hannibal's siege of Saguntum, a Roman ally in Spain. The 8-month assault with massive breaches and hand-to-hand fighting cost Hannibal 10,000 men but provoked Rome's declaration. In Iberia, the Battle of Sissa in 218 BC saw Hannibal's brother Hasdrubal defeat Roman allies, securing supply lines early in the conflict. Crossing the Rhone in 218 BC, Hannibal outmaneuvered Roman scouts and hostile Gauls using boats and rafts for elephants, a logistical marvel that Polybius praised as ingenious. At Trebia in 218 BC, Hannibal lured 40,000 Romans into an icy river ambush, killing 30,000. At Lake Trasimene in 217 BC, fog hid his trap. 15,000 Romans died in hours. Rome reeled from the losses. Earlier, at Ticinus in 218 BC, Hannibal's Numidian cavalry routed Scipio, the elder's forces, wounding the consul. His son, future Africanus, saved him in a heroic charge. In 217 BC, the Battle of the Ebro River in Spain saw Roman fleets disrupt Carthaginian reinforcements, delaying aid to Hannibal. Cannae in 216 BC was Hannibal's masterpiece. His 50,000 men faced 86,000 Romans. A double envelopment left 70,000 Romans dead in a day, history's bloodiest. "How do we stop this monster?" senators cried. Post-Cannae, Capua defected to Hannibal, but he couldn't capitalize without siege gear. Meanwhile, in 212 BC, he captured Tarentum using a clever night raid, though the citadel held. The siege of Syracuse from 213 to 212 BC featured Archimedes' inventions like claw cranes and mirrors, delaying Roman capture until betrayal opened the gates. Fabius Maximus, Rome's dictator, chose delay over battle. His Fabian strategy harassed Hannibal's supply lines, avoiding direct fights. Romans scorned him as the Dauler, but his tactics saved the Republic. In 207 BC, Hannibal's brother Hasdrubal crossed the Alps to reinforce him, but was crushed at Metaurus. His severed head thrown into Hannibal's camp shattered morale, a turning point. Rome endured, led by Scipio Africanus. In 209 BC, he stormed New Carthage in Spain via Lagoon. By 206 BC, he'd secured Spain using Hannibal's own tactics, cutting Carthage's supply lines. At Bacula in 208 BC, Scipio defeated Hasdrubal Barca in an uphill charge, capturing 10,000, preventing a junction with Hannibal and freeing troops for Italy. Scipio's genius shone at Alepa in 206 BC. Feigning a weak center, he enveloped Carthage's army, mirroring Cannae. This victory secured Spain, choking Carthage's silver and recruits. Rome now turned to Africa. In 204 BC, Scipio invaded Africa, forcing Hannibal's recall. At Zama in 202 BC, Scipio's trumpets scattered Hannibal's 80 elephants and allied Numidian cavalry outflanked him. Hannibal fled, defeated. Carthage's peace terms were brutal. Lose their fleet, pay 10,000 talents over 50 years, cede Spain. Hannibal lived in exile, advising Rome's enemies until his suicide in 183 BC to avoid capture. By 150 BC, Carthage rebuilt its wealth, alarming Rome. Senator Cato's cry, "Carthage must be destroyed," fueled the Third Punic War in 149 BC. Rome besieged Carthage with 80,000 troops for 3 years. Initial Roman commanders, Manilius and Censorinus, botched assaults in 149 BC, suffering heavy losses to guerrilla tactics and disease. over 20,000 Romans died before Scipio Aemilianus arrived. At Lake Tunis in 149 BC, Carthaginian forces under Hasdrubal ambushed Roman foragers, inflicting casualties and delaying the siege's progress. Scipio blockaded the harbor with a massive mole in 147 BC, starving the city. Carthaginians dug a new channel overnight, launching a surprise fleet attack that nearly broke the siege. The Battle of the Port of Carthage in 147 BC saw desperate naval clashes with fireships and ramming, but Rome's blockade held, tightening the noose. Carthage's 500,000 inhabitants fought back fiercely. Women cut hair for bowstrings, slaves forged weapons. In 146 BC, Scipio Aemilianus breached the walls. 6 days of street fighting left the city in flames. The final assault saw Carthage's citadel, Bursa, become a slaughterhouse. Hasdrubal's wife cursed her husband's surrender, throwing herself and her children into the flames. Carthage was no more. Legends say Rome salted the earth, but that's myth. No evidence supports it. Instead, they cursed the site, though later rebuilt it as a Roman colony under Augustus. Carthage burned, 50,000 survivors enslaved. Scipio wept, quoting Homer, "A day will come when sacred Troy shall perish, seeing Rome's future." Rome annexed Africa, but corruption grew from wars, spoils. The wars cost Rome 400,000 lives, but gained provinces and wealth. Carthage's destruction ended Phoenician influence, paving Rome's path to empire, yet sowed seeds of overexpansion. Economically, Rome flooded with Carthaginian silver, inflating prices and enriching elites, while small farms suffered from absent soldiers, leading 2 latifundia estates worked by slaves. Culturally, exposure to Carthage and Greece accelerated Hellenization. Romans adopted Punic agriculture techniques like advanced plows and embraced Greek art looted from Syracuse. The influx of slaves from wars sparked gladiatorial games' rise, transforming Roman entertainment, while military reforms professionalized the army, shifting power to generals. Lesser known, elephants weren't African savanna, but smaller forest ones. Only one, Surus, survived the Alps. Also, Numidian king Massinissa's betrayal shifted the balance at Zama. The Punic Wars forged Rome's empire at a cost to its soul. If this saga ignited your fire for history, smash that like button, subscribe for more ancient epics, and comment who was the true hero, Hannibal or Scipio. Thanks for watching. Are these facts in history? Are they opinions turned into facts? One will never know. Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe.